The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 35 drivers, 20 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
We're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Bourbon, basketball, and racehorses as the shadows grow long in the bluegrass state. From Kentucky Speedway, it's time for the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 4 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 8 Championship presented by First Medical Equipment. Vince Lombardi coined the phrase, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Well, the legendary coach from the 1960s would have a hard time explaining what's going on right now, because sitting at the top of the current First Medical Equipment driver standings is Josh Chin. The hotshot rookie has yet to win a single race this season. And as the series heads into round 4, it has yet to see a repeat winner, and nobody who knows Lionheart would be surprised to see that trend continue. Can Chin increase his point lead? Find out now as all the simulated Dallara IR18 action from the Omaha's Kentucky 200 streams your way live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Good health and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Omaha's Kentucky 200 that will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. Way up the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. Sitting in for Richie Hearn, you're gonna love him. It's Nick Schmeg, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups on. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by Dougie Beard. Now, this is the 7th visit to Kentucky Speedway for the First Medical Equipment Lionheart IndyCar Series. But for rookie viewers unfamiliar with this evening's digs, let's take a video tour.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Kentucky Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go. Coming down the front stretch here, getting it right down towards the bottom, swinging it up here to keep the momentum going, then dive it right down here towards the bottom here to turn 1. Find that yellow line and kind of hunker it straight off of the corner, down the back stretch, into turn 3. Might have to break it out, lift it just a little bit to let the nose set, but then right back into the throttle. Coming through the corner, just letting it sweep up there. Then for the hot lap, you can actually cut right down here onto the apron and come back up. Now, as the run moves on, or just as guys are experimenting, you could see guys move all the way around this track. The Kentucky is about 4 or 5 lanes wide, so there's a lot of room to play around. So up there in turn 1, you can see him in that higher groove. Here in turn 3 as well, getting right up here in that top seat. Maybe just trying to find some clean air, try and find a way to pass somebody. Either way, the track has the room, and these drivers will find it down the front stretch and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Kentucky Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
GSRC's Chef Pierre's immersion special is some simple fried chicken. And on the affordable flip side, how about 3 fingers of some Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve? With that in mind, let me reintroduce my booth mate, the Golden Tornado, Nick Schmeg.
Thank you there, Bill. You know, we are at Kentucky Speedway tonight, and from the aerial view that you see right there, this looks like just another cookie cutter track, as the drivers like to say. But when the drivers get onto the track and in the cockpit behind the steering wheel, they are going to notice that that is certainly not the case. This track has significantly low banking. You got to get out of the gas, and aero push is even going to be more annoying because you're already going to be struggling on the throttle control, especially on a long tire run. You've also got a very unexpectedly bumpy track here in Kentucky, and for a track like this, that will literally throw a driver off their momentum. Between the low banking and the bumpiness here in Sparta, Kentucky, turn 3 here is known as one of the most difficult turns in all of oval racing. You know, this track frustrates me as a driver, but tonight we're up in the booth, and I think we, as well as all the fans watching, are going to like what we see on this 1.5 mile circuit. Bill, remember that the countdown to green is brought to you by the SimExperience AccuForce steering system. With the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. To check out the entire SimExperience line of products, head on over to simexperience.com.
Thank you, Nick. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the points. We'll start with the driver standings here, brought to you by First Medical Equipment. We talked about Josh Wynn's winless success as he sits at the top. Connor Harrington and Adam Blocker each have a win to their credit. The other winner is Sage Karam in 12th. Drop insurance will help that real-world driver a little later on in the season. What jumps out to me is the success of Stefan Larkamp in 4th. Now, talk about racing under the radar. A 10th, a 14th to open the season, then a 5th place finish last time out in his 50th career start. Well, that's enough to land the Pennsylvania driver in 5th spot. Brian Beard in 10th also celebrated his 50th career start last time at Phoenix. And after 3 races, only 40 points separate the first 16th. Now, that interval at the same point of the schedule for Season 4 was 78, Season 5, 63, Season 6 was 88, and then last season was 75, so the numbers indicate a very competitive field. Quickly, down to the team standings, brought to you by HyperX. The top 2 teams hold station. Adrenaline Red jumps up to 3rd. That's 5 spots up thanks to the best of day at Phoenix with 118 points. Brian Carey was 2nd. Joe Branch was 9th. And Andrew Kinsella was 23rd. But having a great time in the desert was Graphics NLR Sim Racing, 2nd on the day. And up some spots into 5th. George Sandman was 10th. Richard Holiday 13th. And Mark the Watchman Cohn in 17th. Nick, how about the rookie standings?
You know, you mentioned him at the top of the show, Josh Chin. It's really incredible what he's doing here without a win so far. Of course, we are early in the season, but of course, on top of the overall standings, he is going to be on top of the rookie standings. He's got to watch out, though. Arjuna Kankapati right behind him. He's going for his 3rd top 10 in a row tonight to start the season. That would be a very strong start. And it's already a strong start, of course, because he's 8th overall in the points. Richard Holiday rounds out the podium, coming off his best finish at Homestead for the season opener just a few rounds ago. George Sandman and Adam Frazier, they're still looking for a top 10. Actually, George Sandman did get a top 10 last week at Phoenix, but Adam Frazier, on the other hand, not the case for him. You see behind him Nathan Lewis, Scott Holmes, and Darren Ganji will round out the rookie points.
And those rookie points brought to you by Butt Kicker. You know what? The best in the iRacing World Championship, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the ISN stable of broadcasters. And the Lionheart Racing Series, powered by HyperX, is the premier open-wheeled racing league on iRacing. It oversees 2 great series, the Lionheart Retro Series, presented by DMLC Racing Channel, and the featured series tonight, the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment. Both series honor the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And we're always picking up new viewers, so why don't we take a look at these series details?
And as always, these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. Their industry-leading gloves are super lightweight and durable, made of breathable poly spandex. Whether you're a kart or sim racer, Minus 273 gives you the control to reach victory lane. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.minus273.biz. And don't forget to use LHRS for 25% off your orders. So with that in mind, let's take a look at those series details. Like you mentioned, new season here. That is season 8, still early in the season, round 4 of 20. You see those 3 drops to the right of that. That means you get 3 drop weeks. And you mentioned that is going to help drivers like our real world driver, Sage Karam, here tonight. We are using the current Dallara IR18. You're going to want to watch for that arrow screen, which is new to the series as well, new to the iRacing service. Everyone's going to have to adjust to that. Another thing that is adjusted here are the setups. They've got adjusted fixed setups that are provided, and that is all going to be necessary tonight because cash and prizes, as always, over $10,000.
Woohoo! You can see that the sun beginning to set as the sky is beginning to dim into twilight. Nick, let's take a quick look at the weather and see how that's going to play out today.
Yeah, right now the weather, we're looking at 79 degrees in track temperature. Like you said, the sun is setting. That is certainly going to drop. Same with the air temperature, which is at 77. A little bit of wind, 7 miles an hour, unless that picks up too much. I don't know if that's going to affect them too heavily, but at flat track like this at Kentucky, that would definitely be the place to do it.
A full slate of drivers here, 38 entries into the race, 34 were able to put in qualifying time. The 35th one just put in a time, and while I say that, Michael Goodman finds his way to the top of the standings, putting in a 24.4. Let's look at this time between the top qualifier, 24.4, and the slowest qualifier, Stephen Larkin, 25.4. So a second difference in the top 35.
You see such tight times up there, of course. Qualifying setups, you might be able to get flat out around here, and even on fresh tires, you're going to be able to do that as well. But you get in traffic here, Bill, and the arrow push, like I said, that's the case on any mile-and-a-half track in the IndyCar, but especially Kentucky. I really struggle here, especially coming down the backstretch.
Looks like qualifying is done, so let's go ahead to our starting grid, and we'll give you that right now. We'll do it a row at a time. On the front row is going to be Michael Goodman, flanked by Brian Beard. Nick?
Behind them, Chris Lanini in the 92, and Connor Harrington has having a strong start to his season in the 44 car.
Row 3 is Tyler Groff, flanked by the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
Joe Hasser and George Anzaldo going to be right behind him in the 11 and the 6.
Rookie Scott Holmes in 9th. He's inside of Brandon Limkeman.
2 big names right outside the top 10, Ron Hacker and Adam Blocker in the number 1.
Taking another spot is Andrew Kinsella. Darren Gadget was having a great run last time at Phoenix till he got tangled up with Jason Galvin in 14th.
Right behind them, the 00 of Mike Rigney and Tony Schoen in the 31 are going to be the top 16.
Brian Yazek and Ken Hacker make up the next row.
Jason Galvin is gonna follow those two alongside Brian Carey in the 79.
Blackjack, Richard Holiday in the double deck spot, Samuel Ryman.
Driver from the Keystone State, Stephen Larkamp, is going to be beside James Krahula in the number 4.
Bill Branch in 25th. Outside of him, Justin Weaver.
Row number 14 is going to go to Brian Greenlee and Chris Stouffer.
Ajuna Yesican Kapati in the 29th spot inside of the Watchman, Mark Cohn.
Adam Frazier and Scotty Johnson are going to be following them. Some very close times, even this far back through the field.
Mark Berkman and Jay Branch fill up the next row.
This gets interesting back here, Bill, because you got Damon Martinez, but then look at this, Josh Chin in the 93. He's got a lot of ground to make up tonight.
Going to have some fun also is Sage Karam as he sits in 37th. Nathan Lewis, the rookie, did not put in a qualifying time. 38 drivers on the grid. We do have 4 onboard cameras for you. We'll take a look at those as soon as we start to roll. Glad you're with us here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, coming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. It is round number 4 of the Lionheart IndyCar season, season 8. There you have a beautiful view of the track. Let's go ahead and do our onboard cameras. We'll look at Michael Goodman and the number 9 HyperX onboard camera. Whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. You see the beautiful sky over his head. Sage Karam in the Asher's Racing Channel onboard camera. Always faster on race day. Follow 7-year-old Asher on his motorsports journey at Asher's Racing Channel. From him, as the drivers work their way around. Next one up is going to be Mike Rigney in the 00 Espo Designs. Get yourself a racing identity. Visit at Espo Designs. Mike Rigney, always fun to keep an eye on. We'll watch him as he's in our third onboard camera. And then our final onboard camera is the series organizer in the number 6. It's George Anzaldo. And it is the OMA's Memorial onboard camera for the first straight season. We're celebrating OMA. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Michael Goodman leads the stampede down into the first corner. Brian Beard in second. Chris Lanini, Tyler Graff, and Connor Harrington round out your top 5.
That was a good start from Tyler Graff right there. He's going to be able to squeak past Connor Harrington, but back up front, look at this. It's getting tight because Brian Beard on the outside. Chris Lanini, though, right behind Goodman.
We're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Michael Goodman gets credit with leading lap number 1 as he sits out in front. Look at moving down on the inside now. That is Chris Lanini. He's not sleepy tonight as he sits just inside of Brian Beard. Brian Beard was your pole sitter at Homestead. He seems to like these ovals, likes this one.
Lanini peeking to the outside of Goodman. I don't know if he's going to get too much of a run on the outside just yet.
The tires are happy right now, and the drivers are having a good time. It'll be interesting to see how this looks in another 20 laps. Tyler Graff sits in fourth. Look at, they are all bunched up. The lead train goes all the way back. Well, it's even too far to count. Maybe all the way back to fourth, 19th spot. Mike Rigney's hanging on the back. Really, it's the entire field in this first group.
Saw Brian Beard there move to the outside because he got a big run on Goodman. I think turns 1 and 2 are going to be your best shot to try to make the outside work.
A lot of fighting going on. Let's go all the way back, Director, if we could, to 4th spot, to Chris Stouffer. Here's your hard charge. He's already up 4 spots. Stouffer started in 28th right now. He continues to move as he works his way around Samuel Ryman. Ryman down there in the orange and black Never Quit machine. That's Joe Branch in the red and white carbonated beverage machine on the top side.
Looks like he's already going to be able to get around Larkamp as well. The arrow push really affects these front runners, but back in the field, they can really manipulate the air and use that traffic to the advantage.
Up front, they continue to battle. Now, we don't want to be too cavalier about lead changes. We're going to see a lot of them. Right now, Michael Goodman's out in front. Here comes Brian Beard on the outside out of 4. Not going to have the momentum. Let's give Goodman credit for leading that lap as well. Lanini back there watching. Big Joe Hazard. That's the 4th car in line. Kind of the orange and black thumbs up, cancer down machine. Well, look at Joe right now. That's a great onboard camera. I love it when we get on board from the guys that aren't in the action but are looking at the action. Gives the viewer a great look at what's going on. Look at the long shadows as well. Boy, that is fun. Nicky could spend a whole race just watching this right here. This is some great look right now. Let's go ahead and stay on this for one more lap, see what happens. We watch those front 3. Yes, there's a lot of action going on behind, and I can just report to you that on the outside, you can't see it right now, but on the outside of Joe Hazard, you may see him in a minute, is Brandon Lincoln. And there he is. Our director found him, and look at that blue machine. You know who that is? That's the defending champion, Adam Blocker.
And Lincoln already came up from 10th place to get there on the outside, so he's definitely already made some passes on the outside tonight.
And there he goes. What a great shot. Boy, that is fun. They are 3 wide. Limpkeman on the top side. The front 3 still racing that same order. Goodman hugging the inside. Beard and Lanini. Nick, you look at those cars, the 3 cars up front, they're taking every racing line. There's nowhere for the guys to make a pass even though they were to get there.
Yeah, they look like fighter jets in formation right now, kind of fanning out like that 3 wide. It just shows you the outside just not coming in for these drivers too soon, but if you stay behind Michael Goodman, you're just going to run into the back of him with all of the tow that you're getting.
They look like ducks migrating, you know? They're just off each other's wing right now. Goodman, Beard, Lanini. That leaves the inside open. Here comes Blocker. Boy, there's action all through the field. We'll get there in a minute. Look, and you can see it right there. Where do we cover? We'll watch the front for now. Blocker now on the inside, gets inside of Lanini. He's going to take over 3rd, swing up in front of Lanini, and take that wing spot on the outside of Beard. No, he swings back around. Boy, working on look both sides of the street like a jaywalking mailman, and now he goes to the inside. He gets one, he gets two, but he loses momentum, and Goodman's able to drive by.
He had to let off the gas a ton there.
He did. He took it and really deeper than Buddha's belly button. I mean, he got it in there, but then he had to back off. And now there's that orange car of Joe Hassard in fourth.
That kind of dominoes back, and not in Joe Hassard's favor, but in Brandon Lincolnman's favor, because he's already going to be down on the inside. That run kind of stalls out, though, as I say that.
And there are so many cars. We're looking at Beard right now. He's feeling really good. He qualified in second. He races in the same position. Take a quick look at my timing and scoring, see if I can see some drivers that are working their way through the field. Sure enough, it is still Chris Stouffer. Last time we checked on him, he was in 24th. Now he's up to 18th. Let's go ahead and check on him again, Director. He's coming. And boy, he is in a pinata full of bees right now. That's Stouffer stuck in the middle. Behind him is Hacker. Down on the low side, that's Darren Ganji. Ganji loves this oval. He had a great run in Phoenix. He's racing in 17th right now. Ganji's on the low side in that yellow and blue Sim Motion machine. Up on top in the red, white, and blue Fish machine going by. That is Ron Hacker in the 21. Nick, where do you look?
I don't know. I mean, even the drivers, I don't know if they know where to look. I mean, they've got action all around them.
There they come at you. Look, it's an entire squad of 38 drivers. Is there anyone not in the lead pack? Take a quick look at Nathan Lewis is hanging back. Damon Martinez a little farther back. Josh Shin still stayed in 36. Going to ride on board with George and Zaldo. This is in the OMA's onboard camera. Paying tribute to Sherry Boggs. Celebrating her life for the third year in a row.
Oh, big checkup.
I think
Dustin Wardler that he almost got into there.
And he was chasing Tyler Graff. It might have been Tyler Graff that got up in the wall. This is a mess. Squeezing through the middle right behind him. That is Richard Holiday in 16th position. There's Holiday now. He's got through the car on his flank. That's Chris Stouffer. He's our comer. He's up to 16th. These guys continue to work. There is a great battle going on in front. We're not missing anything, though. They continue to swap. We're just trying to use my spidey senses to see where the mistake might happen. You can see the interval on the tower where you can only see down to 33rd position there. 5 seconds separate first to 37th. All right, let's catch our breath. Let's hope that settles down. Let's go up and look up front because here comes the defending champion, Adam Blocker, making a run on the outside. Nick, I've seen the outside line attack. I haven't seen it get anything done yet, as you can see Goodman happy on just to hug that yellow line.
Well, Bill, what's going to be interesting to see is how long are Goodman's Firestone tires going to be able to withstand holding down that bottom line, that very inside line. He's been scrubbing them off quite a bit, whereas Adam Blocker, he's been hitting late apexes. He's been riding the wall a little bit more, and I think I think that's going to pay off for him should this stay green.
Let's take this opportunity, if the drivers behave, to bring up our race analysis right now. How far do we have to go? How far can we go? There you see, we're going 134 laps. The max distance on a fuel stint, 41. Currently, we are working lap number 22, so we're just a tick over halfway through this stint. The cars, Nick, they get to handle a little bit better when they get lighter, but the tires go away, so it's a give and take situation. I think Goodman's happy with clean air, though.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely benefiting him as we go on board now with Big Joe Hassert back in third. He's got another great seat to watch. This Adam Blocker is going to be able to go down to the inside this time in 3 and 4.
We've seen Blocker down there before, but he's not able to keep the momentum. Remember, these are adjusted fixed setups. Everybody driving the same car. So the only changes they can make is with their hands and their feet. Let's look back at fourth position. This is Brandon Limkeman in a battle with Connor Harrington. Now, Harrington started in fourth, sits in fourth. He has a win under his belt already this season. Limkeman, we have not heard much about. Good run from him as he sits up there in fourth. Let me correct myself. Harrington racing in fifth. Well, for now.
I'd certainly keep my eye on that 44 machine of Connor Harrington. Like you said, he has one win this season, but that was also at a 1.5 mile track. If anyone here knows this season how to save tires, it's going to be him.
I can hear him watching the rebroadcast of this right now, yelling, "Put the camera on me." How about number 55 in 7th position? I'm talking about Brian Yazik, up 10 spots and working hard on the back of Tony Schellen. Nice run from him, but meanwhile, Yazik now under attack from Lanini. Lanini started in 3rd. He's fallen back. Wants to get a few of those positions back. He fights now up into 7th. Lanini on the inside, Yazik on the outside.
Yeah, Lanini is one of those drivers. I think the tires wore out just a little bit early for him. Same with Brian Beard. Remember, he was battling for the lead just a moment ago, and now he's all the way back to 15th.
Boy, I hate to quote Darrell Waltrip, but man, we do. You said it. We have a lot of goers and comers right now. And one of them, I keep highlighting him. I don't want to put the camera on him too much. 11th position, but he's the story of this first stint. Chris Stouffer in the number 13. Now up into 11th. He continues to climb his way up from the 28th starting position. You know, Nick, with qualifying time so close together, you make one tiny mistake, you're looking at 20 spots.
It's so interesting. Like you said, we do have a lot of comers and goers, but you look up front at the lead, and they can't figure out how to pass.
Right.
It seems a lot easier. They can fall back through the field. Making up those positions seems to be a lot tougher.
The Alice Bathtubs, as they go into 1 and 2, they come out of it. Goodman continue to protect the inside, covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet right now. Blocker doing his best to get around the outside, watching in the popcorn position, Joe Hassard. Now, Kentucky has a reputation of being relatively clean. The most caution flags ever was 6. They've done that 3 or 4 times. The fewest that we've ever had were 3. We're well on our way to having a short and clean race. Look at the run from Blocker. Here he goes. He takes it in hotter than Virginia Mayo with a fever. But again, he cannot get it to stick. Google her, boys and girls.
That run looked good, too. And now, look, that's going to allow Joe Hassert and Brandon Limkeman to close in on him.
We've seen that before. He takes the Blocker, puts that Dodger blue car down in there, but just cannot make it work. We're working lap 31. That's about 10 away from a stop. Could we see a green flag stop on the very first one? That would be wonderful.
I think we might, but another thing Kentucky has a reputation for is a difficult pit lane to get down to for these very high speeds, over 210 miles an hour onto that very flat apron.
Each one of the 38 cars that took the grid are in contact with the car in front of them. It is 8.2 seconds from the leader back to Adam Frazier, who races in 38th.
I'm watching Adam Blocker. His corner exit seems to be a little interesting. It seems to be like he's aiming for the top side of the track on purpose to try to swoop down and get a big run on Michael Goodman. It works only so much. If the front stretch here was about 100 feet longer, I think it would pay off for him.
Look at the tower. Make note of where they are before the stops that are coming up. Goodman, Blocker, Hassard, Limkeman, Schowen. How will they come out after their stops? Lionheart is notorious for enforcing the pit entry rule. You can only go through 3 boxes. You can't get on pit lane. We're going to ride on board with Brandon Limkeman, currently in 5th position. The car directly in front of him to the top side, that is Tony Schowen. Boy, I tell you, Nick, I think you made an interesting point. The guys up front are having a hard time making things work. That's not not the case, what's going on behind? They are swapping positions left and right back there. Look at this. We ride on board with Lincoln. And I think you made another good point. It's not maybe so much of people making a successful pass as people make a failed attempt and it ends up costing them.
It certainly backs him up quite a bit, but look at this for the lead. That is Adam Blocker out front, leading lap number 36.
Took him a while, but he got there. Interesting enough, Blocker tends to get there when he's about pit stop time. He wants to be first down pit lane. Michael Goodman, the New York driver, wants none of it as he goes down to the inside now. Blocker had a hard time getting momentum off of here. Look at Goodman swing up in front of Blocker, and boy, he made that look easy.
He did. That really put our claim of not being able to pass for the lead to shame.
Yeah.
That was quite a pass there by Goodman. Or it sounded like Blocker might have gotten off the throttle a little bit. I think he was just trying to get a big run.
All right, Director, let's go back to 10th position. Mike Rigney up 5 spots. He is being chased by Richard Holiday, and then the car on the top side behind him, that is Andrew Havakech-Kinsella. Riding on board with Rigney in the onboard camera. Looking back there in the Espo Designs onboard camera. Get yourself an iRacing identity. Visit at Espo Designs. They'll paint your real car, they'll paint your sim car. They'll paint your pet if you want them. I don't recommend it, but I imagine they'll do that too. Put a racing stripe on the poodle. Why not? Fifth position is Jacek Limkema. We talked about what Jacek has done. Last time we checked in, he was up 10 spots. Let's make that 12 now, 17th to 5th.
Might just be 13 here in a moment. He's getting big runs on Schowen. Goes down to the bottom, and Schowen's going to give him a lot of room, too.
Schowen sitting in 4th spot. Boy, we are getting really close to pit stop time. It's lap number 41. And sure enough, our leader is coming in. Michael Goodman pits first. Was being out in front the whole time. Did he have to use up more fuel than the rest of these guys? Well, we'll see how far everyone else can go. Puts Blocker out in front. Now, what we'll do is we'll follow. When Blocker comes in, we're going to make sure we pick up where Goodman is, because that's probably going to be the battle for the lead. And sure enough, here comes Blocker now.
Yeah, he's coming in, and he's having Tony Schowen and Jason Galvin follow. Lots of guys coming down, having to get on the brakes hard. One of those drivers is missing the pit entry. A couple of them a little bit sideways, hitting the brakes hard.
Boy, this is pretty much everybody coming in now. Michael Goodman is just coming out of pit lane right now, entering. He is in 35th. Everybody going around him. He's lost a lap.
Lots of mistakes early on.
Okay, Goodman out of corner number 4. Heading to the finish line. Guys are rolling in front of him.
Your current leader, Joe Hassard, also just coming in now. A little bit longer staying out for him.
And we see. Now it looks like Ajuna Kittenkapetti. Am I looking to this right? Was he able to, is he leading all the cars that have pitted? Oh, he's coming out right now. That's why. He was just made a stop.
Yeah, Michael Goodman just able to get by him there at pit exit.
So Goodman is out in front. Schowen is ahead of Blocker. So there's Goodman. There's Goodman in second. And Joe Hassard. Now there's Hassard. So we watch Hassard. There goes Goodman.
That strategy, staying out 3 laps longer, that almost worked out for Hassard there.
Now Hassard is tucked in. That's Ron Hacker, who's a lap down on the inside. Going around the top side is Jason Galvin. Galvin's had a horrible season so far. Galvin cycles out in second. A good jump in pit during the pit window. Hazard sits in third. Blocker is down into fourth. Now keep an eye on Blocker in the blue car because there's a lap car in here that could really fly in the ointment. It's the number 21 of Ron Hacker. Hacker's a veteran. He sits on the inside, just inside of Joe Hazard in that orange and black machine going around the top. You see it right there.
I think Hacker might have gotten a penalty. I think that's what makes him a lap car back here. He was one of those drivers, I think, that missed the pit entry.
We get confirmation on that one. As we're looking at Ron Hacker right now. Interesting enough, we've shown you the drivers that were really moving. Oh my goodness, boys, getting close in there. In this mix, when we come off of here, if we can look at car number 13th and 14th position, who is it? It's Chris Stouffer. We documented his drive through the field. He is now up to 5th as he is side by side with the blue car of Adam Blocker. Well, he's on equal footing now, Nick. He's worked his way all the way through the field, but you got to figure Stouffer's going to race now with the guys up front. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, equal footing, but like you said, he was able to race his way up through the field. Maybe that means he was able to save his tires quite a bit longer. I think Michael Goodman and Jason Galvin up front are about to find that out.
We ride on good we ride on board with Stouffer.
Getting a good view of this battle up front.
Another driver that was really, really fast in and out of pit lane was Jason Galvin, who has now moved to the front. So all of a sudden, a new leader. Can Galvin hang on to this one? Galvin on the inside, the car off his flank, that is Goodman. On the low side behind him is Hazard. You see Blocker in the blue car and also in the mix, that's Chris Stouffer. Great 5-car battle up front with Nick, some new names.
Yeah, a lot of guys were able to take advantage of that green flag pit stop.
We have gone 52 green flag laps. Come on, boys, we got some commercials to play. Galvin, Goodman. They are 3 wide, and they're happy with nice, fresh tires. Everyone out there for about 10 laps right now.
It was looking like they were kind of teaming up on Galvin right behind him. They were all forming a line trying to get around the 42. But Jason's going to stick down to that yellow line as much as he can. Look at this big run, though, from Goodman. He's got help with Stouffer behind.
3 cars have fallen a lap down. One of them, former winner, actually defending champion here at the track, Scotty Johnson. I was pulling for Scotty. He had an upset win last season. Boy, that felt good. Probably not his day today. We're showing you what's going on in front. Let's look at the second pack that involves Tyler Groff.
This is back for 13th place. And this is where we're going to find Brian Beard, who started second, and Chris Lanini, who started third. So a lot of drivers who were fast in the first half dozen laps, they have fallen back significantly.
That was drifting up. That was the dark blue machine of Chris Lanini. Almost drifted up into Darren Ganji. Ganji having another good run. I've said it 3 times. It's probably the last time I mentioned it, but Ganji had a great run going on in Phoenix. Things went south on him right now. He is doing another good job of climbing through the field. How about we look at this as we go to Sage Karam in the Asher's Racing channel. Asher watching right now. The 70-year-old has his own racing channel. Once again, past your bedtime, kid. Sage Karam, what has he done so far? Starting at 37th, cut that in half, up to 16th now. Just in front of that is the Beard, Ganji, and Graff battle. Let's watch Ganji. He's really working the top side car number 51. He gets a really wide entrance and gets a great run off as he works on Brian Beard. Look at the momentum. He loves to swing it up really high and then swing down. Now, Beard's there now, so Darren's not going to be able to do it. Racing in 14th.
You know, if Ganchi keeps at that and he doesn't let Tyler Groff right behind him get underneath him, I think that's going to work here in a few laps. He looks strong.
He does indeed work in lap 57. Been green the entire time.
Ganchi's going to try to sneak underneath here. Going to swing back up, though. His Beard's going to hold down that inside line.
Galvin, who was up battling for the lead, in fact, had the lead for a while, is back into 5th position, falling back into the clutches of Adam Blocker. Blocker was also up there as well. So these guys who are racing up front now race for 5th and 6th. Connor Harrington. We really haven't seen him racing up front much. He's up now to 3rd. Started in 4th. He's just been racing behind the guys, kind of staying out of trouble.
He's been patient. That's what you need here right now. That's a pretty big gap, though, up ahead of to Christopher, up in 2nd.
Oh my goodness, that is Sage Karam. Can get a replay of this one before we're going to be going to break here really soon. I thought Sage was heading for the wall. This is the first replay we had. He gets the car down on the apron, and it takes
Just
off
touches
on him.
it. Just the slightest of touches underneath that yellow line. You're going to see it's not much banking here, 14 degrees, but just enough to throw the car.
Catch it. Look at how fast it is. He's aged a little bit. I think he's 25 now. I think that's 35 after that one.
Yeah, that experience certainly played in his favor there.
As we go back up front, we look at the battle for the lead. And as we come around out of here, this is Michael Goodman as your leader side by side with Chris Stouffer as they come across side by side. We're going to be able to watch this as we go to commercial, but keep an eye. We're going to go side by side on screen as well. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and GSRC's coverage of the OMA's Kentucky 200. Up front, we've got ourselves an intense battle as they work lap number 69. On the inside, that is Michael Goodman. On the outside, we have documented his drive through the field. That is Chris Stouffer, racing for Adrenaline Racing.
He's come up, like you said, a couple times from 28th, and he has showed no sign of stopping. He's going to sneak in right behind the line of Goodman, go to the outside, and try to get that big run down into turn 1.
Let's go ahead and look at our profile driver. He's so far been able to avoid the jinx of the spotlighted driver. Of course, we're talking about Adam Blocker. He's in his 63rd race. He's got 62 under his belt. Let's add one for that. 21 wins. That's the most all time. First start was back in season 5 at Milwaukee. Seems so long ago. Picked up the win, first time at the Glen. Two-time champion. He's not expected to race as much as he has so far this season as he got a new real-world gig with Ilmore Engineering. Good to see him back. Always fun to watch Adam Blocker race. I want to quickly talk about this rookie in 7th spot. It is Richard Holiday. Now he's out, Galvin's on the inside, and the car behind him is Connor Harrington. But Richard Holiday has had a great run. Started in 21st, up to 6th. We ride on board, and Nick, what the onboard tells us, boy, look how close they are, is you can see the sun beginning to set. And they've turned the halogens on. Not doing much right now. My grandmother would tell me, Billy, this is the most dangerous time to race. Well, she wouldn't say race, she'd say drive. Grandma Trula. We're going to talk a little bit more about grandmas in a minute, as this race is sponsored in the memory of a great grandma, Sherry Boggs, known to her grandchildren as Oma. Look at Let's go ahead and look at George Anzaldo. We'll go on camera on board with George, and I'll talk a little bit about this race. Now, the race, of course, is the Oma Kentucky 200, which is the 3rd straight year that Lionheart celebrates the life of Sherry Boggs, who is remembered by Aiden, Clara, and Lily as the best grandmother, or Oma, anyone could ask. You know, and she was a lifelong educator and respected charitable efforts, but I think in these difficult times, this race gives us an opportunity to appreciate our loved ones, no matter the height of their branch on the family tree. Thinking of you, Sherry. And we're all thinking about all of our loved ones. I hope everyone is safe and enjoying the best sport you can have right now. Sim racing. It's wonderful. You listening, Bubba Wallace? Michael Goodman ahead of Chris Stowe. Look at this going on. And look at that Dougie Beer camera. Nick, I love those low-angle shots that show
little contact. Great shot there from Dougie Beard indeed, but it showed a little contact. I don't think Chris Stouffer is going to like that camera angle when he watches the replay.
Look close. I don't think Stouffer got any wall. I think it was at the gather it up, a la Sage Karam.
He just hit the right sides of Goodman, I believe. Either way, one driver that does love that is Adam Blocker, who's going to be able to really take advantage of that.
So as we work lap number 79 now, gives us a second to take thought of what's going on here. Michael Goodman, clearly, I'm thinking the class of the field, at least he has been out front. We haven't seen Goodman have to race in traffic, so who knows what's going to happen if he loses track position. Blocker's been up front a lot, but you got to admire what Stouffer has done. He raced through the field. Galvin had a great pit stop that got him up there. Let's go on board the 00. Man, I tell you, if you got a 00, paint it dark. See the onboard camera, Rigney racing in 10th. Up 5 spots from where he started. Nick, we're starting to get to the point where you got to start thinking. They went 41. I think some drivers went actually 43 was the most they could go. You start subtracting that from 134, I get into trouble when I start doing that. But we're getting close to our final stop, I think.
Yeah, and people are coming in right now, it looks like. I see Michael Goodman down there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get to the magic number. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't have a 120-lap race. It's a little bit awkward number to get to that 200-mile mark here at Kentucky. 134 laps. I wonder if some of these drivers further back to the field, they've seen how difficult passing is, especially up front. Maybe they'll cut that 50 laps in half.
Yeah, well, I think here that we are at lap 84. You start doubling what the max stint was. I think these guys are just about out of fuel. They don't really have much option strategy-wise. They've stayed out as long as they can. Now, these guys who are making their stops, what they're hoping for right now is that the yellow doesn't come out because they may get caught a lap down, or at least if they have to cycle around, they'll be at the back of the pack. Drivers who have made their second stops. Galvin is in. Cohn and Zaldo, Graft, Ganji, Hacker. Stouffer is in. Goodman's made his second stop.
Here comes Adam Blocker as well. Connor Harrington, Tony Schowen going to follow him in.
So the leader of all the cars that have pitted is Jason. Well, Galvin's just coming out of the pits right now, so that's incorrect. See if I can pick this up once they come out. I guess it's going to be Blocker was able to get in and out. Oh, Blocker's in right now. Sorry, guys. They're all coming in. Schowen comes out behind Blocker.
You see Mike Rigney getting his stop. It's going to be really interesting, Soup. Like you said, these drivers, they're not going to be able to hit the magic number. I think their decision is going to be based off of where they come out of the pits. As we see Richard Holiday, the rookie, he's having a fantastic performance, especially in terms of the rookie points. He sits third there coming in.
I think our leader is Chris Stouffer, who sits in 16th right now. It's Stouffer, Galvin, and Goodman. They race nose to tail. So we'll keep an eye on these as we watch the drivers start to come out of pit lane. You see some of the back markers coming in. Now just rolling out right now is Holiday. They should be able to go by then. Kinsella, they should blow by. There they go. Now they're coming up. Go ahead.
I noticed one of the drivers that was staying out quite a bit is Joshua Chin. I'm wondering, he's not had a great race. He's just coming in now. I'm wondering if he's trying to stretch it a little bit and maybe have an alternate strategy. Yeah, look at that pit entrance.
Chin makes a pass coming into pit lane. Yazik comes out, but the leaders blow by him. Big Joe Hazard is out in front. Big Joe Hazard is out in front of Blocker. Does he have the momentum? They go into 3. Hazard tries to get the car wound up. He scoots up and moves his chair forward. It helps a little bit. Blocker goes around.
Great move by Blocker to get to the outside there and then swoop back down. And because Hazard was going to pick up a slipstream and head into 1 and 2 with a big run.
Boy, Hazard, we're getting at 45. You start to think, can Joe go the distance? Can he go 45 from here?
We had 43.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it gets within a couple. It makes you think about it. Maybe it certainly makes a yellow flag. You get the thought of maybe you can go it. Blocker going underneath Hazard now. This is a battle for 4th and what we think is for the lead, I think. No, actually, Goodman is out there. It's a Goodman Stouffer leading.
Don't forget Galvin's up there as well, too. Yeah.
Let's pick it up. Galvin is actually out. This is Galvin and Stouffer. I apologize to Deep Freeze guys who snuck out in front of me. So let's catch our breath, and Soup will tell you what's going on. Galvin in first, Stouffer in second, Goodman in third. You're looking at them. Now, the fourth car in line, that's Damon Martinez. Surprisingly, not in the mix today. He's, what is Martinez, more than one lap down? He's one lap down. The leader of all the cars, one lap down. So you got those three guys. But then, Nick, you got 2.5 seconds back to these next guys. Blocker, Hazard, and Limkeman, and a whole bunch more. So watch the tower. Look at the driver in fourth spot, Blocker, and watch that interval. See if it can close up on Galvin. Right now it's 2.7.
Yeah, definitely. Galvin, Stouffer, and Goodman, they are battling side by side at times, even for the lead right now. Stouffer on the outside of Galvin, but that doesn't seem to be slowing them down too much because that's exactly what they're doing from fourth on back.
All right, we are 40 here to go now. I don't think anyone can get there from here under green. We'll see.
I think 45 is possible with fuel saving.
Well, the guy that would have the best shot at it, who's been out there the fewest, Brian Beard has been out the least. He went the longest.
He certainly has the pace too after his qualifying run. Starting up inside a second, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's back in 23rd, and actually, I'm not really sure pace is going to matter much right now to Brian. Brian, if I were you, I'd sit behind Ken Hacker.
Yeah.
And see if you can get around and do it without having to stop again. I don't know if you can.
Got a nice rookie battle right behind him too, Kankapati and Chin.
It's funny what a race will mean. I mean, here's Chin, your points leader, and we documented it in the opening that he hasn't won a race yet. But boy, has been a non-factor. And Arjuna Kankapati is also a tough racer. He's sitting in 24th. We just watched these guys battle. And there's Brian Beard. Folks, I don't want to be pouring banana oil in your ear, but I really think that none of these guys can go. But the GSRC's commentator handbook says put drama in whenever you can. So we'll see if Brian can get there without stopping.
He's not really riding right behind the guys in front of him, I've noticed. Like Ken Hacker, I don't know. I don't hear or see any fuel saving on his part.
Let's go back up front for a minute. We'll talk about the leaders now. Jason Galvin, you know I love you, and you're going to be broadcasting in the booth these Lionheart Retro Series, but if you have an Achilles heel, and yeah, I'm talking to you, Jason, it is pit stops. I've seen you blow pit stops in more ways than I can actually imagine. Coming in, going out, pulling into the box. It's going to take a great stop because I think we're looking at a splash and go here if we stay under green. And Nick, let me tell you something. These guys know what's going on. When it gets down close to the end, nobody wants to be the guy who brings out a yellow flag after so many green flag laps.
Oh yeah, like you said, what was the record? 3 cautions here. We're certainly on track to beat that, I believe. Even if we have one or two, yeah. I mean, it would have to get real ugly real quick. Right up front though, look at that.
Oh my goodness!
Not
now Martinez is not in. Yeah. He was racing like a drunken sailor, those weaving back and forth. Damon, I love you, and you are the first car one lap down, so there is no wave around in this season, this league, so that's why he's working so hard.
Yeah, you can't blame him, definitely, especially if we get that caution. Just makes things interesting here for Galvin having to split him.
All right, we're looking at the HyperX onboard camera of Adam Goodman with Jay Brandt right in front of him. Now, Brandt's a lap down, and it's Adam Goodman. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were on Adam Blocker. My correction. Okay, we're on Adam Goodman. There we go in the HyperX. Come on, Soup. We're on Michael Goodman in the HyperX. He's in third position. Car number 99 races for 8 Ball Motorsports. I've done these before. Now right behind him In the rear view mirror is Joe Hassard. You see Hassard weaving back and forth. There we go. And there's the driver the Soup was fixated on back there in the blue Dodge Blue McLaren of Adam Blocker.
Well, poor Hasser in between Goodman and Blocker. He said he was weaving back and forth. He's got a lot of names to avoid.
Yes, indeed.
There he goes again down to the inside.
So many drivers have a chance to win this one. Brandon Limkeman is back there just on the inside of the blue car of Blocker now. Working the inside. That's Limkeman up into 5th. This would be a lot more tense if I didn't think everyone had to make a stop between now and the checkered flag. They go underneath. You go right there. That's Richard Holiday you were on there for a minute. You saw him, rookie in 7th. Holiday, our top rookie.
It's going to be really interesting. I mean, anyone right now could come in and make their stop now if they wanted to. I'm wondering if we're going to see someone do that soon, especially someone like Brandon Limkeman, he's been back here kind of 5th, 6th, 7th all night. To get an extra few positions, he might take a big risk like that.
He really is suffering from internet connection. Limkeman seems to be the back of the train that's got a shot at it. It's a little farther back to Tony Schellen for him to get up there. Chris Stouffer. You love it as a commentator when you see a trend early on. We saw Stouffer working his way through the grid early. Checked in on him, checked in on him, checked in on him, and now he has worked his way from 28th to 1st. Stouffer probably sandbagging that qualifying attempt just so he can get the attention. Jason Galvin saying, listen, Damon Martinez, if you're going to race up here with us, you're a lap down, that's fine. But you got to stay up with Stouffer right now as he begins to lose contact with the leader.
Hey, if Galvin was ever interested in fuel saving to avoid that pit stop, now's his chance. I don't think he's doing that, but hey.
Chris Stouffer has gone 28. He needs to go 23 more. That's 51. You cannot do 51 laps.
And I noticed we saw at the bottom of the screen there, George Anzaldo coming out of the pits. He is one of those drivers that has split this last stint halfway.
George will be good to go. Go one more onboard camera with the Olma's onboard camera. George Anzaldo in 35th. Uh-oh. And it involves Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker involved in it, and also Big Joe Hassard.
Oh,
they
and
came
Michael
up
Goodman
on
as
Michael
well.
Goodman, who was pitting.
Oh,
Goodman was
no.
coming into the pit lane, came across the track. Limkeman went around him. He was good. But Blocker, you know what? Nick, it looked like Blocker was trying, or Goodman was trying to come in, and then the car drifted back up into the racing line.
Yeah, a little bit. He didn't lock the brakes up.
We'll see here when we're coming on this one. This is interesting. There's Blocker. Now watch Goodman in front of him. Goodman will come in and watch the car drift back up in front. There he goes. He's down low and he comes up right in front, and then those two guys get together.
I'm shocked that Goodman wasn't sent flying down pit lane there.
There we go, and he just goes around Goodman and he gets collected. Now the question is, Goodman was coming in for a stop. I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Did Goodman make his stop? I think he did. Goodman is in and out. If I'm looking at this right, he's out first.
Oh, it is really close. When I take a look at the caution lights, he may have missed this by a couple of inches. I'm not sure.
Looks like iRacing is going to give it to Chris Stouffer. Goodman's going to be, they're putting him in third right now. No, they're not. They are scoring Goodman well down the order. iRacing shows him in 15th, so apparently, yeah, they're showing him in third right now, but I'm not sure. We'll see how it is. That was probably 15th when they came across the line. We'll see how this is probably going to be it.
So hard to tell. You have those caution lights around the track, and that's not always the time the caution comes out exactly from race control. And
yeah, it was last lap. Goodman was in 15th, but iRacing will score him in third. What we're going to do right now is take a quick break. We'll run one more commercial to get your testosterone levels up. Then we'll come back and get to the checkered flag. You're watching IESN on GSRC. Where are you? You're on the iRacing Esports Network. What are you watching? GSRC's coverage of the OMA's Kentucky 200, Round 4 of Season 8 in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, brought to you by First Medical Equipment. Our leader is Chris Stouffer. We've documented what he's done. The pace car is in. We're going to have ourselves a 17-lap sprint to the checkered flag. Stouffer gets a great jump right behind him. Jason Galvin out of Bakersfield, California, has had a horrendous Season 8 start, having his best race of the season. Michael Goodman, who's been strong all night, sits in third. Brandon Limkowin quietly in fourth. Tony Schowen in fifth. Back after your top 10. Harrington, Rigney, Kinsella, Holmes, and Yazik.
And another caution.
Oh, Ken Hacker. Ken Hacker got into it side by side with our points leader, Joshua Chin. Chin seems to be okay. Now watch the blue and white car of Chin. He tries to squeeze through the middle.
That narrowly, just narrowly misses Sage Karam as well.
Yeah. The car on the low side was Joe Branch. Chin gets through, but we have another yellow flag. I don't think that's going to mean much to anybody. Everyone will get a chance to catch their breath.
I'll tell you what, too, Brian Beard also got involved in that. That was the car you saw get collected.
And he comes in. There's Brian Beard. You know what it will do is give me a chance to talk about one of our sponsors. I was thinking Easter's coming up, and my Catholic school education, I'm aware that the featured player in this holiday was at one time a carpenter. Stick with me here. I'm getting there. The maker of tables, chairs, and stools. Now, this segues into my thoughts about the Lionheart Racing broadcast being a three-legged stool. One leg of these broadcasts is the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. The other leg is the race itself. And then the third leg is the post-race show. Now, if you're not sticking around for the post-race show, well, then this broadcast becomes a two-legged stool, which any carpenter will tell you. That's a flawed piece of furniture. The sponsor for the post-race show is HyperX. When you're trying to claw your way up to the top of the podium, it pays to have an ultra-comfortable, high-quality headset that gives you the audio information you need to grab that checkered flag. From high-performance drams and SSDs, outstanding microphones, accurate mice, I hate you Mises to pieces, to quote Jinx the cat. Responsive keyboards, come on, Soup, stay to the script here. To their legendary cloud line of gaming headsets, HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed. Whether you're a casual pro, no matter your creed or color or culture, all gamers are HyperX, always ready to game. Use promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. All the business is out of the way, Nick. Now we can focus our attention to what we're here for, and that's to watch some good old sim racing.
Well, right now we're seeing a little bit of a delay in the action, but we are certainly going to get one big show, and you're going to have to watch for the run, because Chris Stouffer, he had a big launch last time. This time, though, I think Jason Galvin and Michael Goodman are going to be more prepared for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to leapfrog him on the backstretch when they get going.
Jinx the cat and Virginia Mayo. Soup is really hitting the demographic we're looking for. Chris Stouffer, Jason Galvin, Michael Goodman. The lights are on the pace car. Yeah, we're going to go around one more time. All right, Nick. You've been here with me the whole time by my side. Which one of these drivers you like? And keep in mind that Chris Stouffer is going to have that clear air.
I do think that they're going to get a jump on him. I don't think Galvin's going to have quite enough at the end. Don't count him out of the podium, but I would keep my eye on. I'd keep your eye on Michael Goodman there in third place. I think he's got the best shot at this.
If you're wondering about finishing under the green or yellow, there's been 6 previous races. 1/3 of them here at Kentucky have finished under yellow. You do the math, that's 2. The other 4 races have finished under green. So if you're in Vegas, put the money on green. Great run from both the drivers up front, 28 to first, 19 to second, respectively, for Stouffer and Galvin. Guys that have struggled, Tyler Graff started in 5th. He's way back in 23rd, still on the lead lap. Chris Lanini, who's usually a much better racer than he is qualifier, started in 3rd. He's fallen way down. Will not be a factor. How far back in this single file line of cars can you go and still have a chance to win? Andrew Kinsella says 8th will do, Soup. That's where Havocatch sits. You look up in front, that is Mike Rigney. Boy, Rigney's had a nice run. Started in 15th, just about cut that in half. Okay, boys and girls, are you ready? We're going to have ourselves 12 laps of racing. The pace car is in. Control of the field goes to Chris Stouffer. He gets a good jump, maybe too good a jump. Galvin back in 2nd. Watching him real close is Goodman. They are side by side for 4th. Schowen on the inside, Limkeman on the outside. You see those two work back there as they battle. They lose touch with the front three. Galvin now doing some reconnaissance racing, testing to see what he can do. Stouffer hugging the inside like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms.
Galvin and Goodman are going to need a little bit of a bigger run than that.
Goodman wants that inside. Goodman thinks if he can get on the gearbox of Stouffer, he might be able to move up around the blue car of Galvin. Oh my goodness, they go back and forth. Galvin stayed on the outside like the Flintstones cat, and now it's Michael Goodman outside pounding those door yelling Wilma. Stuck on the top side of Goodman. It was Sage Karam who got into the back. Got into the back of Scott Holmes. Am I looking at the right one? I believe so.
Yeah,
Karam
definitely
just
Scott Holmes.
Just got his nose. This is Karam. Karam was behind. He had a great run. We're going to take another look at it. You see Holmes spinning around. Now watch Karam. Karam has some momentum.
And Holmes got sandwiched there. That's Andrew Kinsella in front of him, and I don't think Karam was expecting Holmes to make a run to the outside of Kinsella, but he did.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's what you're going to get racing when you have 9 to go. There's a checkup. Well, this is a great shot here. Checkup, you are asking for trouble. So the rookie was having a great run. His night comes to an end. Remember out there to get your yellow flags spayed and neutered, as we are having a litter of them right now. This is good news for Chris Stouffer. The more yellow flag laps, the less green flag laps he needs to defend.
Yeah, I think Stouffer's the one person here that would like to see this finish under yellow. Well, the racer inside him is going to want this to finish under green.
There's some great racing going on, some swapping inside and outside, almost like some dirt track over and under moves being made behind Stouffer there, so you're trying to jockey for position.
Well, Bill, we definitely jinxed it. Not going to be able to break the record here at Kentucky for the least amount of cautions. We've tied it, though.
Yeah, let's hope we get a tie. You got to expect that Connor Harrington racing in 6th right now will probably be your points leader, as the point leader Joshua Chin sits in 11th. Boy, I'll tell you, Joshua Chin, he's sneaky good. He's found his way up into 11th. That's how you win a championship. Not getting a lot of screen time, but has a shot to finish inside the top 10. Lights stay on the pace car. So we'll go around. Looks like we'll have I'm going to guess a 5-lap shootout, if I can do the math right.
You know, the one thing, Bill, that these drivers are going to like about these late cautions is that if they might have been a little bit short on fuel, they're definitely not going to be now. They might have tried to take just a little bit less in their last stop under the green flag, and they're not going to have to worry about that anymore.
In 8th position, car number 2, Sage Karam, has made a nice run through the field. A real-world IndyCar driver that we haven't spent much time putting the camera on there.
And, you know, I don't think he has any damage on the front of that thing either.
There you go, the Asher's Racing Channel. Asher, he's doing well. With the lack of sports going on right now, ESPN put on the 2015, I think it was the MAV TV 500 from Fontana. It was back in 2015. It was on the heels of the tragedy from Las Vegas, and they were it was pack racing and Indy cars again, and Sage Karam was right in the mix. Frightening. I am a racing fan, but if I never see pack racing in open-wheeled Indy cars again, I'll be a happy man. It was a replay, and I knew that everyone was going to be fine, and I still had an upset stomach watching it. Lights are off. Only thing at risk here tonight is your pride. Of course, for full immersion, I always race with my wife behind me with a frying pan. If I put it in the wall, she smacks me. Butt kicker is nice, but if you don't have one, you got to improvise.
Is there any glass that shatters with the new aero screen when that happens? That sounds a little bit dangerous now.
No, it's just a nice, it's a frying pan. It's one of our cheaper ones. Okay, 5 to go when the pace car comes in. Watch Stouffer keep the car to track left. Goodman may lay back a bit to see if he can get a run on this start. Last time it was a great start from Stouffer. Here we go. Gather up the chickens, take covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and it's 5 laps to the checkered flag. Stouffer with a 6-car length lead, as we expected. Goodman stalking from behind. He has some momentum. It's a 4-car length lead. It's a 3-car length lead. Look at the run he's got. But when he gets there, it's time for the corner. He has to move to the outside line, and that's where his momentum stalls. He leaves the inside open. Galvin says, I'll take it. Galvin now on the gearbox of Stouffer. Stouffer still in control of this race. Way up on the top side, it is Tony Schowen. Watch the momentum off of the 2 as he had a great run. He gets into the toe of Goodman. Schowen with a great run. He comes off in front and he cuts off the car that was behind. That was Limpkeman who had visions of going even 3-4 wide. Coming across the line, 3 to go. Stouffer still in control, Nick. I don't know if anyone's going to run him.
He needs to hold that bottom line better than he has this entire race. Because Goodman, if he sees an opportunity, or especially Galvin, how about Andrew Kinsella? Where did he come from? Well, now he's going to be spinning. Contact behind him as they go wrecking.
And the yellow's out, and I believe that's going to do it. And Chris Stouffer gets credit with leading the lap as Richard Holiday ends up in the wall. I'm looking at this one. Who does it involve? I see Holiday involved in it. Oh, actually, it starts up in front of him, doesn't it? You're right. It is Andrew Kinsella in the mix.
You got to tap
Brandon Limpkeman.
Watch here, just a little left front wing action from Schowen to the back of the 41 of Kinsella.
Well, try as we might, we were green for the majority of the race, and then, as it happens so often when it gets down to race time, the yellows come out. You won't hear any complaints, though, from Chris Stouffer as he sees the white flag. The adrenaline racing driver is going to pick up a win. There have been 4 previous races at Kentucky. Race winners that are here tonight. Andrew Kinsella, Joe Hazard, James Krahula, Scotty Johnson. 5 races, 5 different winners. Active winners. As we add to that list, Chris Stouffer. Unless he runs out of fuel or has a horrible internet connection problem between now and the checkered flag, which will wave in 2 corners. We talked about it in the opening. There's been 3 races so far this season, 3 different winners. Let's add to that a 4th. Nobody is surprised by that. It's not uncommon to see that in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Out of the final corner. Nothing between him and the checker flag, but the pace car, that won't be a problem. The winner of the Omaha, Kentucky 200, it's going to be Chris Stouffer. Michael Goodman, our pole sitter, will have to settle for second. No pole sitter has ever won here at Kentucky. That streak continues. Jason Galvin finally gets a good finish in third. Rounding out your top five. Hey, Sage Karam gets up into fourth. Asher's happy about that. And their points leader, Connor Harrington, now in fifth. The racing is over here at Kentucky, but our broadcast is far from done. Don't go away. Remember, this broadcast has 3 legs to its stool. You don't want to tip over. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel coming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. Back in a few. Welcome back to the third leg of the Almost Kentucky 200 broadcast stool, and that is, of course, the HyperX post-race show. Now, the Lionheart Racing Series is powered by HyperX, and when you're trying to claw your way to the top of the podium, it pays to have an ultra-comfortable, high-quality headset that gives you the audio information you need to grab that checkered flag. From high-performance RAM and SSDs, outstanding microphones, accurate mice, responsive keyboards, and their legendary cloud line of gaming headsets, HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed, casual or pro. No matter your creed, color, or culture, we're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Use promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. And now it's time for the finishing order here, as we're going to show you the Turn Racing finishing order. Turn Racing, of course, is the leader in Turn Racing is merging the gap between real and sim racing. Use promo code Lionheart10 at www.turnracing.com. To the standings, Chris Stouffer is your winner from 28th position. Michael Goodman started on pole, but no pole sitter has ever won here in Kentucky. It continues. Jason Galvin finally with a good finish in third. Sage Karam, 37th to 4th, our hard charger. And Connor Harrington is in fifth. The back half of your top 10, I don't know if we had him on camera at all. What a quiet run from the Moby Dickey's machine of Justin Weaver in sixth. Tony Schowen and Mike Rigney go 7th and 8th. Brian Carey in ninth, rounding out your top 10. He came into this race as the point leader. I don't think he'll go out as it, and that's Joshua Chin. Nick?
And right behind them, we were watching Brian Yazik make his way up through the field the whole race. He was inside the top 10, but he's not going to finish there. He's going to finish 11th, right in front of Arjuna Kankapati in the 78. Stephen Larkamp going to be right behind them in the Baker's Dozen spot with Nathan Lewis and Samuel Ryman going to be rounding out the top 15. Darren Ganji, Bart Workman, some quiet races from those gentlemen as well. They'll be rounding out the top 17. 18th going to go to Tyler Groff, Chris Lanini, and Brandon Limpman, who got caught up late in this race, going to round out your top 20.
7 more drivers on the lead lap. Hidden Blackjack, James Cahool in the double Dutch spot, Scotty Johnson. Behind them, Damon Martinez and Jay Brand. In the quarter century, Marcus the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. Quiet race from him. Joe Branch and Andrew Kinsella go 26th and 27th, the last cars on the lead lap. The Watchman, Michael Cohn, first car 1 lap down in 28th. Adam Frazier behind him with George Anzaldo in 30th. Nick?
Ron Hacker is going to be right behind 2 laps down alongside Brian Greenlee. Richard Holiday, what a great run he had, but the late race accident's going to put him 3 laps down in 33rd. Same with Scott Holmes, Brian Beard rounding out your top 35. The whole field is going to finish with the DNFs of Ken Hacker, Joe Hasser, and Adam Blocker.
Okay, with that said, I have the honor of talking to our race winner. 4 races this season, 4 different winners. Let's add to the list, Chris Stouffer. Chris, started in 28th. I watched you work your way through the field. Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun driving up through the field like that, of course. I had a terrible qualifying effort and started in back and just wanted to avoid any wrecks, and we didn't have one for 3/4 of that race. And I really needed that caution, though, because I wasn't going to be able to make it to the end without it. So I was happy the way everything worked out tonight.
Let's talk about your drive through the field. Nick and I both noticed early on that the driver up front, once he got to the inside, nobody could really get around him. But mid-pack and the battles back there, passing seemed to be, well, I don't know, easier, but at least it was happening. How'd you get through the field?
Really, I just kind of got lucky in a way of picking the right line at the right time. It was really packed up at the beginning of that race when I picked off a lot of those positions. And there was just, if the car wasn't low, I would go low, and I'd end up picking 2 or 3 spots up just because there'd be a train up high, and then, try to do the reverse on the other end. Just run where nobody was running, try to have clean air on my front of my car. So I had that downforce, and I could put the car where I wanted, and it paid off.
We'll get you out of here on this one. Next race coming up is going to be not on a Wednesday. It's going to be on a Sunday. It's the first jewel of our Triple Crown of Michigan. You got your personal schedule all worked out for some Sunday racing?
Yeah, my wife will help me out, of course, and she'll make sure the kids are occupied while I'm racing. Sunday, I know my 7-year-old will probably want to watch because he'll be up. He's asleep right now. He likes watching Daddy race, but yeah, I've got everything worked out. Looking forward to that race. I always run good there, and got my first win, and it feels like quite some time. So I'm happy with that, and hopefully we can just keep building on it.
What's his name? We'll give him a shout out on the broadcast.
Liam.
All right. We'll give a shout out to Liam. Good luck as we move to Michigan. Nice job on getting to victory lane.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
There you go. Chris Stouffer in victory lane. And remember that when you get to victory lane, you know how you get there? Well, that's thanks to Sim Experience. They help you get there. Check them out. Sim Experience AccuForce steering system. It has the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. But I've learned about Direct Drive. Those are very cool things. See the entire Sim Experience line of products at simexperience.com. Nick, who you got?
I've got Mike Goodman. And Bill, you mentioned later in the show tonight that no driver here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series has ever won at Kentucky from the pole. Mike, you almost got that done tonight, but you're going to come up about just a little bit shy.
Yep, but you know what? Considering everything, I'll take it, obviously. As you could tell, it was pretty fast, and a lot of stuff going on at one time. And just to be able to finish the race and even finish in the position that I finished, I'm extremely pleased with.
Yeah, coming from the pole, you led a good portion of this race, but that that green flag stint, that must have been killer up front for you.
Oh yeah. The only bad part about being up front for the beginning of the whole race is that I was not going to be able to make it on one less fuel stop. I would have been 11. I was 11 laps short if it would have gone green all the way. And after the first caution came out, I think it was Andrew Kinsella and Brian Yazik. They were saying that actually, if that caution didn't come out, that they were good on fuel. So I really don't know what to say. It was just, their misfortune and my luck my luck in a sense,
Yeah, absolutely. And we were wondering about the fuel. You mentioned it there. How about the tires, though? Up front, you had to stick on the inside lane. Were tires a big issue, or was that not really part of any of the issues for you tonight?
No, holding the low line at the beginning of the race was it was okay. You couldn't ride the line. You were not able to ride the line for I would say for half the fuel stint. But from last night's practice race, the second half of the race, once it got dark outside, you could hug that line all the way around. And people were even doing it on 20-lap old tires. You would be able to catch up to them on fresh tires. But even if they had the low line, they were able to hold it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we let you go tonight, congratulations on your great run. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely. I want to give shout out to my sponsor, Ferocity Graphica, Scott Mitten. If you need anything painted for iRacing, please give him a buzz on Trading Paints. Want to thank my teammates, 8 Ball Motorsports, Mike Rigney and Justin Weaver. They both finished in the top 10. So it was a great night for teams points. And I also want to thank HyperX for coming on board for Lionheart and First Medical Equipment. As usual, being a big contributor to the league and stuff like that. And obviously all the admins, George, everyone that, puts in a lot of time making this league what it is.
All right. Well, like I said, congratulations on your podium tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to see you back in the booth here soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Nick, that's why I like these interviews. We were on that. We were wondering if anybody could get to the end on the fuel that was going on there. We find out that some guys were going to try to steal it. See, that's what we learned on these interviews. All right. Speaking of interviews, whenever we get like a rookie commentator, we always try to line him up with Jason Galvin. He is the best interviewee in the iRacing platform. Jason, You finally got yourself a decent finish.
Man, no pressure there, huh, Soup? First off, let me just say Brian Yazik's my teammate over at LPM, and he was good to go to the end. I'm not sure anybody else was. I think Andrew was close, but Yazik was good, so he was a little upset to see that yellow.
Yeah, I bet. Tell us about your run through the field. Any close calls? You seem pretty smooth.
Man, yeah, I got to figure out how to qualify. I got teammates who can qualify, and I can't. And if I could ever figure out how to qualify, it would be all right. Last week we were trucking through the field and had that incident with Darren, and tonight we got right through the field. I knew from both practice races would be good. Last year I led a bunch of laps here, almost won it, had a late race incident there, and felt good tonight. There's one moment that I kind of like to have back. I was kind of playing nice with Stouffer, and I think he was playing nice with me. And then Damon got up there, and I got no idea what Damon was doing. I mean, I understand he was trying to get his lap back for a while, but when you get to 20 laps to go in the race and there's 30 cars on the lead lap, like at some point, man, you just can't be there, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get in trouble for saying that. It wasn't the end of the world. Everything worked out. The 3 cars who were top 3 at that time finished top 3, but it would have been fun to see how that would have shaken out. Without somebody up there who wasn't racing for anything, and Damon's a good guy, so I know he was just trying to get his lap back. But it's a fun race, man. I love this track, and after getting wrecked last year, it feels good. I got a new rig built. I spent all of last week, and my rig showed up during Phoenix last week, and I spent 4 days in between my wife working. She's a nurse, God bless her. She's treating COVID patients, and we got a 1-year-old, and somehow I found a way to build a rig in between. So I got my AccuForce wheel hooked up finally that I've had for 6 months, some experience, and I got my HyperX headset and my -273 gloves showed up in the mail, and So I got to run with all that tonight. Triple monitors for the first time in my life. I'm like, man, this is pretty good. Maybe I'll make a habit out of running up here.
That explains why you're in third finally. Needed the right equipment. Hey, Jason, congratulations. Well done, baby.
Thanks, Soup. Hey, just real quick, I want to say thank you to my sponsors, Global Electronic Technology. If you know anybody out there needs credit card processing, hit me up. It's a family business, veteran, family owned. I take care of my friends. I take care of my people who I know through here. They're some of my best friends in life. Fortunately, we have some customers who are associated with the league. So if you own a business out there, you want to have a conversation, hit me up. No pressure at all, but I'd love to help you guys out. Thank you to Graphics, Tyler Graff, for painting the beautiful cars I got this year, and LPM, everybody. I got the best team in the world. And finally, thumbs up, cancer down, and everybody knows, I really wanted to put on a good show last week in the thumbs up race, but I know tonight is for Mark Omick and Oma's Kentucky race, and Mark lost his mother-in-law to cancer as well, and we feel that. So this one's for Mark and his mother-in-law, and for everybody out there who's battling cancer. There's a lot of talk right now, rightfully so, about coronavirus and COVID-19, and it's a terrible deal, and everybody needs to do their part on that. But, that doesn't mean that we got to, take our focus away from or stop thinking about people who are dealing with other issues in life. And everybody, I feel like, knows somebody affected by cancer. So just try to keep them in your thoughts and prayers during this too. And, it can't hurt to reach out to them, because if you thought they were struggling before, try going through treatment or chemotherapy or something now when social distancing is involved as well. It can't be fun. I can't even imagine. So, and thanks to you guys. I'm sure it's a great broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch. And man, I'm looking forward to Michigan. I was supposed to be, here's the one bright side of this whole deal. I was supposed to be in Charlotte for an NHRA race announcing on Sunday in Michigan. And now I'm not. So, who knows? We'll see what happens at Michigan.
Always a silver lining somewhere. Nice job, Jason. Third place tonight. After hearing all the equipment that Jason has, sounds like he's going to need to credit card process himself there. Nick, I believe you got Sage.
I do indeed. Sage, you came home somehow with a fourth place finish tonight. We should never doubt you, though. You had some close calls. You had a big save. We watched your handiwork, but also some contact at the end that somehow you were able to come away from without damage. It looked like you were having some fun back there.
Yeah, it was. It didn't fully go to plan. We, me, Damon, and Josh, we wanted to try and start at the back of the field tonight, and because we usually get caught up in mostly all the wrecks on the ovals here, so we tried to do something a little bit different. And of course, the race that we try and do that, there was like no yellows. So yeah, we were just cruising around at the back, and then once we figured that this thing is not going to go yellow, we decided to start saving fuel. And me and Josh were at the point where we were going to make it and didn't have to do another stop, so we were kind of bummed to see that first yellow flag come out, because we had it pretty dialed in at that point where we thought we were going to easily get on the podium there, both of us. But then once it went yellow, we could come in for tires, and then I just had to kind of push from then on out. Once I came out, I think I was like 16th, so I had to go from 16th to 4th and however many laps we had. So yeah, I had some contact with I think it was Scotty there, and he was blinking real bad, and I just didn't really know where he was going, and all of a sudden he blinked up in and hit the brakes, and because the car checked up in front of him, I guess, and I couldn't react in time, and sorry about that, but sometimes there's just some connection things.
Yeah, absolutely. That dirty air back there makes everything a lot more chaotic. And we always talk about how, of course, you're a real life driver, but iRacing a lot more visual reliant than in the real world, where you can get the feel of the seat. My big question for you, and of course your opinion valued greatly here, in terms of visuals, what do you think about the aero screen before you get to drive it in real life?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I like it a lot more than the AFP device that was on there previously. I think it's actually easier to see out of too. To me, I felt like the AFP was a bit wider, and this seems a bit skinnier, and you can see a bit more. And I didn't really have any issues. I tested it in real life as well at Sebring, and it only took a couple laps to get the feeling of it down, and just kind of the little things. You're not really hearing the wind and feeling the wind around you, and instead of looking through one visor, you're looking through two now. And then once you get past that, it's pretty good. So I didn't really have any issues with it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Anything but safety, we can keep improving with that, is obviously the best thing. Yeah, I mean, I also just want to thank Asher, his sim racing, or his racing channel. If anybody's out there wants to check out some cool interviews, he does amazing interviews. He's I think a 7-year-old kid, and I went on his channel a week or two ago after my walk-ins win that I did, and he's a cool kid, and he sponsored the car for today, and I tried to get him a win. I just couldn't get it in the end.
Sage, it's Soup here. With the lack of broadcast sports right now, ESPN is struggling for broadcasting, and they played the 2015 500 miler from Fontana in your rookie season. I'm not sure if you remember that, but it was pack racing. That's crazy. I just wanted to know if you're able to go back to that race so many years ago. You're only 20 years old. In that heavy pack racing that was going on there, as 20 years old, did you realize how just stomach turning it was for fans to watch?
I actually watched that race the other day when it was on. So, because that was the most fun race I've ever done in my life, and obviously I think I was 20 years old, and I didn't have a care in the world at that point, so I was gonna obviously just think that was the most awesome thing. Now looking back at it and saying if I had to go do that again, I don't know if it would be all that fun, but it was definitely pretty hairy at some times. There were points of that race where it was like, not points of that race. It was every single lap of that race, every corner where it's like we're 3-4 wide, and you're just on the verge of crashing. And I'm watching that race, and I'm seeing me do a few wiggles and stuff, and I was like, oh man, that's a big save I had there. And it's crazy. Like I remember a lot of that race, like as if it were yesterday. And but it was super dangerous and everything, but it was super exciting, and it was super fun to be a part of. And if it wasn't so dangerous, like I would be all for pack racing in real life. But unfortunately, we've had some big incidents and lost a lot of great people, and to pack racing. It's great for the fans and everything when we can race like on top of each other like that. But when something goes wrong, it's usually a lot bigger. So, but it was a fun race for sure.
Thanks for giving me that. I couldn't let you get away without me asking, because it was amazing to watch. I know that kid, and he's 20 years old, and you're not 20 anymore. But man, thanks a lot. Good luck to you the rest of the way, buddy. Oh, Sunday, you good for that one? You got your schedule clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else can I do? I'm sitting here in this whole corner. I can't do anything but sim race.
We'll get you out there soon enough. All right, Sage Karen, 4th tonight. Good job. Man, that's fun. Sorry to run so long, boys and girls, but I just had to ask that question. Hey, let's go ahead and thank everybody that made this possible. You heard them talk about the sponsor First Metal Equipment. They've been a source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer care. Check those guys out. How about HyperX? Whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LionHRT15 at HyperXGaming.com. Sim Experience, second only to the real thing. SimExperience.com. We didn't talk much about these guys, but they are great. We're going to give them a big plug next week at the 500 in Michigan. We're talking about Butt Kicker. Bring more realism and immersion to your session. Use promo code LION2020 at thebuttkicker.com. Hey, to contact any of the sponsors, just go to the Lionheart page there, and you can scroll down and click on them. It's a great way to see who's doing what. Great sponsors here. The original music, that's courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact her. On the screen now are some of the company's equipment we use to bring the broadcast your way. Lionheart IndyCar Series, we've talked about it. It's the first jewel of the Triple Crown. It's going to be back. It's the Michigan 500 presented by Butt Kicker. And that's going to be on Sunday the 17th. That is about 13 or 14 days from now. Okay. So we're here in round 5 Wednesday at Michigan, but I believe before that we're going to go to a Sunday broadcast. We're not sure. You know what? If you're confused, like I'm confused, and the director's confused, I got the answer for you. All you need to do is go to globalsimracingchannel.com. You know why? We got a complete list of broadcasts there. Or if talk to some friends, maybe on GSRC channel or Instagram at GSRC_grams. If you want to do that, don't forget Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel. And if you're not a GSRC YouTube subscriber, head over to the GSRC YouTube page and hit that button to subscribe. Go check out the GSRC merchandise store at GSRCStoreNV.com. There's a link in the description below. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Nick, Sean, and Dougie. I'd like to thank all of you for watching as we get our 4th different winner this season. Chris Stouffer picks up the win in the Olaf Kentucky 200. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. You still with me? I'm almost done. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.